Two Rivers Talks is brought to you by Two Rivers Biz Starts. Also by Two Rivers Main Street. And by Raleigh Point Economic Advising. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Welcome, everybody, to Two Rivers Talks, your connection for all things having to do with Two Rivers. If you are from Two Rivers, used to be from Two Rivers, or want to be from Two Rivers, you'll find news, fun, entertaining information, and all of the bad jokes you can deal with from my friend Darla and I. Hello, everybody. We're so glad you're here. How are you doing, Darla?
I'm doing pretty good. Are you glad I'm here too?
I am always glad you're there. I was flying solo on some of the interviews, today. So I missed you. There was always sort of like the little back and forth that we do, and it's not quite the same.
I know, but you did so well without me. It was making me sad because I watched the footage. So, yes. But no, it was really, really good, and I'm excited to show it to people. Let's see. So, why don't we get started?
Yeah. Well, today, I guess we're going to be talking about some current events and community happenings.
Right, but we have to do word of the day first. We
do. And the word of the day today is, would you like me to go ahead and proceed with this?
I will always make you do this portion of the show.
Why is this not a surprise to me?
I know. It's just enjoyable for me to,
When I read this the first time, I mispronounced it in my head because we're going through coronavirus, and I thought I was reading panivorous. What is that? But no, it's actually panivorous.
Right.
Like if somebody is carnivorous, except this is panivorous, which means that you are subsisting on breakfast food, like Lego.
I think it's more bread,
right? Eggo waffles, or right?
Yeah, something bread-like.
Bread-like bagels or cereal. Anyways, the quote you put together with this is, I ate it toasted for breakfast and took it to school as the foundation of my lunch sandwich. An equivocal frisson traversed my now infinitely more sophisticated panivorous spirit when I read that Wonder Bread's parent company filed for bankruptcy in 2012. You thought you were going to trip me up with those words, didn't you?
No, I had faith, but I just liked hearing you say that paragraph. So thank you very much for bringing some light into my drab little world. I appreciate it.
I don't know that I can take credit for that, but okay, sure.
And so we can go into in the news. You want to take the first one?
So in the news, first headline is that the former Studio 8 building is being remodeled. Local builder Brandon Bartow has purchased the former Hutchhausen hardware store building at 939 South 8th Street, and has designs to open a bar or restaurant later this year, bar/restaurant. So I guess the historic brick structure was built in 1894 and most recently housed Studio 8 and Rock and Blues House before becoming vacant in more recent years.
Right. And I forgot to put it in the script, but that's in Manitowoc, as most people are going to know, the old Stud 8.
I was wondering. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So because I had gone past there not that long ago and I noticed they were remodeling, I was like curious as to what was going on. But they're revitalizing their downtown in Manitowoc. And I was like, well, that's perfect because it's a historic building and it's right. It's like a cornerstone building. It's so close to the courthouse.
It is, right.
So I'm looking forward, and we always need more restaurants. So
right.
I'm excited. Coronavirus uncertainty forces cancellation of the EAA Airventure OSHKOSH for 2020.
Not a shock, right?
In OSHKOSH.
Yeah, right.
The 68th Annual Experimental Aircraft Association Fly-In Convention was scheduled to be held on July 20th through the 26th. All pre-sold Airventure 2020 admissions and camping reservations can be rolled over to the 2021 event or are eligible for refund, which I thought was pretty decent of them. The EAA is already eagerly looking forward to gathering along the Airventure flight line on July 26th through August 1st in 2021. So that's, I totally get why they cancel it for this year, but that is a huge event for the state. So that was a real shame.
Yeah. Have you been to the
Years ago? Years ago.
A couple of years ago, I got to go. Super impressive. So much history, and just amazing to see all those birds up in the air like that. Just really crazy.
It really is cool. So, but next year they're going to come back bigger and better. So
that'll be
check
great.
it out then.
Yeah. The Clipper City Co-op has a new operations coordinator. The co-op has hired Sally Peck, and her job is going to be to manage the co-op office and assist the board of directors, owners, and producers in forming and growing the co-op's community-owned grocery store in downtown Manitowoc. Ms. Peck has lived in Manitowoc County her whole life, and she has lots of experience in the field and has served previously as the director of operations at the former Fox Hills Resort. Co-op board chair Naomi Ratz said of the hiring, Sally's superb background and expertise will be a definite asset to our organization.
Right.
Congratulations, Sally.
Wisconsin Maritime Museum is hosting a Lakeshore Artists Guild exhibit inspired by water. Just like Leonardo da Vinci said, water is the driving force of all nature. The Wisconsin Maritime Museum and members of the Lakeshore Artists Guild present this exhibit inspired by our relationships to water. And what this is all about is that 15 members of the guild working in a variety of media are represented. Painting, handmade paper, mosaic, photography, wood carving, and digital illustration will be on display. H2O, the essence of life, will be on display in the museum's art gallery on the lower level of the Maritime Museum from June 11th through Labor Day. So it's already going on.
Mm-hmm.
The museum is at 75 Maritime Drive in Manitowoc. Hours are 10 to 11 a.m. Thursday through Sunday, exclusively for vulnerable populations, and from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. those days for the general public.
I really like how you classed it up with a quote from Leonardo da Vinci in there.
I stole that.
It was very nice. So I have another quote about water from Doctor Who. Water always wins.
Cool. I love Doctor Who.
The world's tallest dog is 7'4", eats $600 a month in dog food. This is our next headline. Enormous Freddy, that's his name, is already a Guinness World Records holder for the oldest Great Dane in the world. He's 8 years old, but now his owner is looking for a second Guinness World Record for the tallest dog in the world. Freddy's owner said he was the runt of the litter, but now stands at 3.5 feet tall from the floor to his back.
That's huge.
That is amazing. So the owner always turns heads when she takes the 210-pound pooch on a walk in Norfolk, in the United Kingdom. She also shells out a lot in kibble, which costs over $630 a month. Quote, despite their size, they're very kind-natured and put their paws on you if they know you're upset. They love cuddling, and I sleep with them on 2 mattresses in the living room at night, says Stoneman. If your dog was a go for the Guinness World Record, what category would he compete in?
That is such a good question.
Thank you, Darla. I thought of it all by myself.
You're a genius. That was brilliant. I don't know. I would say Gemma has got to be the most intuitive dog and compassionate. So she can tell when you're upset. So
she's like an empath dog.
Yes, she could be on Star Trek.
Awesome. She could take the place of Counselor Troy.
Oh, nobody could take the place of Counselor Troy. That could be your sidekick.
Okay.
Oh, it could be her seeing eye dog, just in case something happened to her eyesight. That would work.
So you threw me with the headline here because world's tallest dog is 7'4".
I think when it's from tip to tail, when it stands up.
Tail. Okay, thank you. Because then later you said 3.5 feet tall.
Just to its back.
Okay,
off
but
the floor.
tail, that's a long dog.
Oh, yeah. And well, can you imagine 210 pounds, jumping up on your shoulders to greet you?
Yeah, right.
No thanks.
No thanks.
And I kind of like to sleep in my own bed, not in the living room. So, and I'm sure it's a really nice pooch, but I have a pygmy, and I really like her. So, moving on, the SS Badger Lake Michigan car ferry already arrived in Manitowoc.
Yay.
The season normally would begin the Friday before Memorial Day, but was pushed back twice to legally adhere to health protocols. Just so everybody knows, the Badger leaves Leadington at 9 a.m. Eastern Time and arrives in Manitowoc at noon Central. The return trip departs Manitowoc at 2 p.m. Central and arrives back in Leadington at 7 p.m. Eastern. And to date, more than 2.5 million passengers have been served by the Badger. That's a lot of people.
It's a very cool old ship, and I've had the chance to ride it across from Leadington to Milwaukee fairly recently, last season, and there's just so much cool stuff on there. Like I came across at a really rough time, so I was a little green around the gills when I stepped off the boat. But they've got like a movie theater in there. There's a whole food court. There's a museum and a gift shop. It's a really interesting piece of history, for Lake Michigan.
I didn't realize that they had a movie theater.
Yeah, it's like a regular movie theater projector, and like the room full of the theater chairs and everything.
So they play like what, Titanic and
that would be a bad choice. No, they played a movie. It was the Will Smith version of Aladdin when I was on.
Oh,
desert. That's very safe. You're not going to sink to the bottom of the sea watching a desert flick. So
okay,
psychology.
Because I was thinking, besides Titanic, I mean, who can beat watching Shelley Winters, holding her breath for an extended period of time on the Poseidon Adventure? So that would have been a really cool one too. But
that would do. Or just episodes of Gilligan's Island, that'd be.
Oh, that's brilliant. Okay, let's do that. I'll write the email tomorrow.
All right, very good.
And you want to take it away with the next one?
Yeah. One more piece of nautical news. The wreck of the patrol boat commanded by JFK during World War II has been discovered. The wreck of a high-speed patrol boat commanded by John F. Kennedy during World War II was discovered in New York's Harlem River. So not necessarily Wisconsin news, but still kind of interesting and cool. The remnants of PT-59 have been dredged up from the Harlem River as part of a Metropolitan Transportation Authority project to build a seawall to prevent flooding in a Manhattan train yard. Sold off after the war, the PT-59 was used as a charter boat for anglers and later as a houseboat on the Harlem River, the Times reports. It was abandoned in the mid-1970s and eventually sank. Kennedy was the skipper on PT-59 in late 1943 and 1944, following his storied command on PT-109. PT-109 famously sank in the Solomon Islands following a collision with a Japanese destroyer in the early hours of August 2nd, 1943. The future president was awarded the Navy and Marine Corps Medal for his role in saving the surviving PT-109 crew members. Yeah. Interesting history.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool because even though it was PT-59, just the fact that it was captained by Kennedy,
yeah,
I just thought was very, very cool. So what a thing to dredge up,
That's a pun.
Yes, it was. And I wonder what they're going to, it's probably in really sad shape. They probably just know that that's the wreck of. It's not like they're going to put it on display anywhere, I would hope, but who knows?
Who knows?
On to city info. Two Rivers City Council will be meeting on Monday, July the 6th at 6 p.m. Council chambers, third floor, City Hall. Agenda will be posted online.
Cool. Are people allowed to go to
Yes.
the meeting? Okay.
Yes, and they can social distance. It's recommended you wear a mask, you know, and the way the city council is now set up, and even when they have committees meeting in the council chambers, um, the setup is a little bit different, so everybody's spaced out more, and so the prudent practices are being adhered to.
That's good. That's good because I know the COVID cases are up again in Manitowoc County. They hopped up a little further. I had heard it was something to do with a private gathering. So
Oh, really? I
yeah,
wasn't aware of that.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So
Everybody be safe out there.
yeah,
Do what you're supposed to.
wear your masks if you're going to be in any kind of enclosed space or near people. So
Right.
um, the Two Rivers Soldiers Monument is 120 years old. This is so neat. It's the monument located in Central Park, right along Washington Street. It was installed on June 9th, 1900, and stands as a, quote, memory of those who fought in defense of the Union, 1861 to 1865. It's on the inscription. The soldier is a Union soldier, notably, according to a Manitowoc Herald Times article from January 6, 1976. Early historic records show that 140 men from Two Rivers served in the Union ranks during the Civil War. The article states that, quote, the monument was to be a lasting memorial of their loyalty to the Union, end quote.
Yeah, I had no idea it was that old until I read that article. So, um, very, very cool. I love history. So, and like the Civil War was a really interesting period in time. So, it's just nice that that memorial is still around for those guys who served and the ones who died as well.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Adjustments are being made for space at Neshotah Beach due to high Lake Michigan water levels. One of the parking lots, I think they're in the process of blocking it off and will be utilized as an area where visitors can set up to enjoy the beach. Two Rivers City Manager says these high water levels are a concern and, quote, if we see sustained high lake levels, it may be worth investigating in more parking inland and turning those areas between the rock or between the road and the water into beach. So stay tuned. We'll see what happens. But I know that they're doing something in order to give people more space to lay out their blankets and enjoy Neshotah and enjoy what Two Rivers has to offer.
Very good. Some news about your gallery. Basil Ishkabibble pairs 30 poems and 30 visual works in art as poetry, poetry as art. That sounds very cool. The gallery and Lakeshore Artists Guild are delighted to present Art as Poetry, Poetry as Art, a collaboration of 15 artists and poets to create poems inspired by visual artworks and artworks inspired by poems. The exhibit features the work of many Lakeshore Artists Guild members as well as other area artists and poets from around the state, with 2 poets from as far away as California. This months-long collaboration has resulted in 30 pairings of poems and visual artworks, 60 works in total. Art as Poetry, Poetry as Art will be on display from June 18th through July the 10th at Basil Ishkabibble's Art Gallery, located at 1612 Washington Street in downtown Two Rivers. Normal gallery hours are 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and by appointment, you could call for an appointment at 920-645-4896.
Right. Yesterday was our debut, and I had so many people come through. So I appreciate you flying solo and letting me concentrate on the gallery. And it was a good thing. There was no way I could close my doors that day and do Two
Sure.
Rivers talks. It turned out so good. And I mean, this was months worth of planning, just the coordination to get everybody's work in and,
Oh, sure. I'm sure.
put it all together. I will be putting some pictures up. But we're very pleased with the outcome. So it runs through July 10th So the people in the area come by and see it. It was an interesting concept, and we hope to do it again next year.
Now, I vaguely remember where this art gallery is located. It's been a while.
Are you gonna be able to find your way back eventually?
No.
No? I'll swing by your house and I'll pick you up and I'll show you how to get there, okay?
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay. All right.
So the Leicester Public Library is gearing up for summer fun despite COVID-19. I'm taking two in a row here, Darla.
Okay. Go for it.
Though the library building remains closed, the employees inside are busy. They are performing curbside delivery, and that keeps the circulation of staff on the go, while help desk staff continue to provide expert reference, referral, and readers advisory services. The number of incoming phone calls to the help desk tripled in May. They've also reorganized and rearranged, painted and scrubbed and moved shelves and cabinets. They reconfigured seating and space to maximize the incredible view of the lake and gardens. I can't wait to see that.
I know.
And of course, they've been hard at work planning the summer reading program themed Imagine Your Story, which sounds cool. Adapting programming to ensure safety. So stay tuned for that opening. That's going to be exciting when they get back open again.
Right. Well, there's a lot of downside to COVID, but you remember we've had Jeff Dawson on TR Talks twice, and he's talked about this is what their plan was to rearrange the seating and freshen up the layout of the library to take advantage of these just gorgeous views.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because of COVID and having to be, shut down, basically, it gave them an opportunity to actually finally get it done. Otherwise, it might not be, they might not have been able to for quite a while, because you're going to get in the way of library goers, if you're trying to move things. Otherwise, it's a lot of weekends. And so I'm really looking forward to it too. And it's always been a beautiful place, but being able to look out over the water as you're sitting in this beautiful space, it's going to be tremendous. So, and of course, you'll be able to check it out probably before me once things die down and you can start doing your TR Biz starts back over there too. So you have a nice connection with the library.
Very much like to get that rolling. Yes, absolutely.
Right. So,
very good. Over to you.
You want to let's see where I'm lost.
2020 kites.
You want me to take that one?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead? I screwed up my order by double dipping.
You got me all flustered. No, it's just I'm looking. I'm not looking at you right now. I'm looking at the script, and I must have had a spasm or something, because all of a sudden my script scrolled down all the way to the very end of the last page. So I had a twitch. Okay, back to business. 2020 Kites Over Lake Michigan will go on as planned Labor Day weekend, but at a new location. Event organizer Chow Chung of Unique Flying Objects in Two Rivers took to Facebook to announce that the 15th annual event that draws thousands of visitors to Two Rivers will still take place on September 5th and 6th. This year, the event will be held at Two Rivers High School instead of Neshotah Beach. And Chow says that the event is being moved due to high Lake Michigan water levels and very little beach. So this was a needed solution. And Chow says it's no secret that a lot of businesses have been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. We are sensitive to this, says Chow, and therefore we will not be actively seeking any sponsorship for this year. The festival will be entirely self-funded, and every sponsor from last year will be listed as a sponsor for this year. Chow adds, However, we will not turn down any financial help if given voluntarily. Hint, hint. That hint is from me, not from him. But I thought that was, um, so wonderful of him to do the self-sponsoring. So everybody out there, if you enjoy the Kite Fest and you would like to help Chow out, donation time.
Yeah, just kicking a few dollars. It's a very worthwhile event, and brings a lot of visibility to the city, and is a big draw nationally, internationally. So yeah, right. Anything we can do to support Chow and the great work that he does.
Right.
You want to take the next one too?
No.
You let me get away with everything today. So Two Rivers driver wins super stock at Wisconsin International Raceway. A Two Rivers driver has won the super stock feature race in Kaukauna. Andy Casavante,
I think so.
His name, checked out around mid-race and cruised to victory in his division in the fastest time of 15.607 seconds. Another area driver, Bobby Wattier from Denmark, was runner-up finisher in the sports truck feature. Congratulations to you both.
Okay, and the boat launch season passes are now available. A boat launch season pass is available for purchase through the Two Rivers Parks and Recreation Office. They are located at 1520 17th Street, or you can purchase online. The city-operated boat launch and fish cleaning station is located on the West Twin River at Vets Park. Season passes are $25 for residents, or for non-residents, the cost is $37.50. Daily passes are still $5.
Very nice. And as far as some other community events, the Two Rivers Biz Starts, we have a scheduled meeting next Wednesday evening. That's going to be a Zoom meeting, check-in for anybody that wants to talk about their small business idea, and also check-in for entrepreneurs throughout the area. Don't necessarily need to just be in Two Rivers. Anybody from the region is welcome to come in, talk about your ideas, ask about resources, get the wisdom of the crowd, whoever happens to show up. And really, it exists as a group to support each other, any of us who are involved with business ownership in this region. So think about showing up if you're interested in learning more or getting the date or reminders about things. Be sure to like the Two Rivers Biz Starts Facebook page. There's a Biz Starts Facebook page that is for the mothership out of Milwaukee, but there's a specific Two Rivers Biz Starts page. So go ahead and check that out, and hopefully we'll see you next Wednesday. I'm assuming that this will be live by then, so people will see it.
Oh, yes.
And then finally, the Two Rivers Business Association, we have a meeting on the first Thursday of each month. However, there will be no meeting in July, but that's typical. We usually skip a July meeting. So the plan is to get back on track in August. We will make a determination at the next board meeting, which is the third Thursday of the month, whether we're going to do something live or via Zoom or some combination thereof to go forward. So stay tuned for that. I know a number of civic organizations, some have started meeting live again, others are holding back. I'm just trying to figure out with the board what's the safest course, to handle everything. So
right.
Yep.
Yeah, and you want everybody to be comfortable.
I want them to be comfortable, and I want them to be safe.
Right.
I think it's not, if it's not absolutely essential to be in the room and have those meetings right now. I think until we see a regular decline over a month or two period of new cases, then I think it's maybe time to think about relaxing things. But right now, it's just still a little too dicey as far as I'm concerned. But
it is. There's still a lot of unknown. So yeah, better safe than sorry too. And I'll tell you, this technology, like with Zoom and like with StreamYard, what we use, it's tremendous. I know it's been around for a while, but not everybody had to use it. Now everybody seems like they're pretty competent with the technology.
I think it forced the move for a lot of people that were holdouts around it. And I mean, as you know, like it's a world that I live in because that's this consulting guy. That's the work that I do.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I was just on I was telling you earlier before we got on the broadcast, I was on a panel for an international conference today, and it was virtually run through Zoom, just like we do on a regular basis. And
Right.
And it was great, terrific collaboration, a lot of interaction between the people on the panel and the attendees, and then a lot of follow-ups, via LinkedIn and other kinds of platforms, following that. So
Right.
this is the digital transformation that has been promised for the last decade or more, but which a lot of executives have dug in their heels and been Luddites about making those changes. I'm not bitter about that, but in seriousness, it's good to see that the world is moving forward. I'm just a little saddened that it required a major tragedy like this pandemic to force some of those changes. But
Yeah.
evolution or revolution, we go one way or the other. So
Right. And I am bringing back the How's It Hanging segment of the show, and I will focus on the artist poetry as art exhibit that's in there right now. So up next is our dear friend, Mr. Roger Russove, to be followed by How's It Hanging.
excellent. Everybody, we're at that point in our segment today where I get a big smile on my face because we have one of our favorite guests on. I was going to say my favorite guest. He is probably my favorite guest, but I can't play favorites, so I'll just say one of my favorite guests. Needless to say, Mr. Roger Russove, the director of Two Rivers Main Street, is here for Main Street Minute. Welcome, Roger. It's so nice to see you.
Great to see you too, Todd.
So Darla is not flying along with us here today because she's got something going for Basil Ishkabibbles, but she wanted to make sure that we had a chance to connect and find out what's the latest going on with Main Street and how people can get involved with the economic recovery of Two Rivers.
Well, the first thing I'll mention, since you're talking about economic recoveries here, we're in phase one of a two-phase Shop Two Rivers first promotion that's running right now. Our name for it is Business as Unusual, because this has obviously been quite an unusual year or so. And basically what we're asking people to do is pick 3 Two Rivers businesses and spend a minimum of $25 at each one. After they've done that, they need to get their receipts to the Main Street office. There's a number of ways they can do that. The easiest way to get to look for specifics on the information would be to go to our website at tworiversmainstreet.com or visit our Facebook page. The information is there too. But they can take a picture of them and text them to us. They can scan them and email them to us. They can drop them in the mail to us. The receipts have to be dated between, I'm looking away to a calendar here real quickly, between June 8th and June 22nd on this phase one. We need to receive them in the office by Thursday, June 25th. And the first round of drawings will be held on Friday, June 26th. So we'll be giving away Cool City cash to the winners. And basically that Cool City cash can be spent at businesses around the city. Just a way to encourage people to get into their favorite businesses and support the local businesses that make Two Rivers one of the things that makes Two Rivers a great community that it is. Now, the same day we announce those winners is when phase 2 of this program will start, and it'll run through July 13th, from June 26th to July 13th. We're asking people again, spend $25 at 3 different Two Rivers businesses, get your receipts to us, and we'll hold drawings on the Friday after the 13th then.
That sounds amazing. So what was the idea behind the 1-2 punch here that comes in 2 phases?
Well, there were a couple different things. One is it was going to give more people a chance to win. But two, we're thinking that phase one may be a little smaller than phase two because businesses are still getting comfortable with having people coming in their doors again, and just getting people comfortable with going into businesses again. So it was our hope that phase one would start the process and phase two would accelerate it a little bit more.
Got it. That makes sense. That's great.
Yeah, and this is actually being co-sponsored, I will mention, by Two Rivers Main Street, the Two Rivers Business Association, and the City of Two Rivers have all contributed to this financially. So we'll be giving away over $2,000 in Cool City cash to the winners over the course of the two phases.
Well, it sounds great. Obviously, I like it because of TRBA and my role there, but I'm super glad that we can do something to support the marketplace and the recovery of small businesses in the area. It's been a particularly tough time for business owners, and hopefully we can climb out of this and be bigger and better and stronger than ever as a result of it. So thanks for organizing the event.
You're very welcome. Thanks for supporting it.
Yeah. So that's terrific news. What else is going on?
Well, coming up on Friday, June 26th, is what we're calling the Cruise for a Cause. Main Street is doing a car cruise that will initiate at Two Rivers High School. We'll take a route down Lincoln, 22nd and Washington Street, and disperse in downtown Two Rivers. We don't really have anything going on at the end. But we're hoping that people that participate in the cruise with their cars decide to stick around, do a little shopping, maybe have some dinner, something like that. And we're also hoping a lot of people come down. There will be no parking signs up on Washington Street, so people will be able to see the cars come down the street, come down and see the cars. A lineup for that is at 5:30 at the high school in Two Rivers. We're asking not to get there early, because this is really, the high school has asked us, they don't want people out of their cars. They don't want people gathering. We just want this to be pull in. We'll line everybody up at 6 o'clock. We'll leave, and the cars will follow the route down through downtown Two Rivers. Now, the cause that we're supporting with this is Two Rivers Ecumenical Pantry. We're asking people that participate in the cruise to bring a food, non-perishable food item, or cash donation to collect for TREP. Our Cool City Classic Car Show title sponsor this year, Brad Bozer from Ball Auto and Truck, the Napa store here in Two Rivers, will have his truck out at the high school. We'll be collecting donations and putting them in the truck. And then within a day or two after that, they'll be taken to TREP and dropped off there for their use. Now, if you're not participating in the cruise, but you'd like to make a donation to TREP, you can bring that right to the Napa store on the corner of 16th and Adams Street in downtown Two Rivers anytime between now and Friday the 26th, and they'll be glad to take those.
Fantastic. That's great. And from what I've heard, a lot of food banks have been hit particularly hard because of coronavirus. There's been a lot more demand for the food there. So this is coming at a time when it's particularly crucial for them and for their success. So any great way to support a local food bank that's been with us through thick and thin for many, many years.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So now the Cruise for a Cause event on the 26th, that's not in lieu of the car show. The car show is still happening, correct?
That is correct. The car show, the Cool City Classic Car Show and Cruise, we're calling it 19.5. We're going to celebrate the 20th anniversary next year.
Okay.
But that will be held. The cruise will be on Friday night, August 14th, and the show will be on Saturday, August 15th. And we're still, moving the date on an event like this is almost more difficult than doing the event itself, I'm learning. So we're still working out details, but our intent is for everything to be very similar to what it was last year. Start at UW Manitowoc, supply route maps there, and in downtown Two Rivers, we have a couple of bands playing in downtown Two Rivers on that Friday night. And for the life of me, I can't remember one of the two names. They're a group from Wausau that has been lined up by the Snowfest committee. And then Bare Bones Blind, which is a local band, will be playing from they'll be playing from 6:30 to 8:30. And can't remember the name. They're a rockabilly style, kind of a southern rock type band from Wausau that'll be playing the early shift. And I should have written it down before I came on the air, and I didn't.
Oh, that's all right. Those things happen. I was going to see if I could look up here real quick on Facebook, because there's nothing more entertaining on a podcast than looking up something on the internet while everybody watches.
We're both doing the same thing here.
So we'll just say we'll be sure to put it in the show notes down on the news review, and take it from there. But that's great. I'm glad to hear that the event is still happening, and just got kicked down the road a little bit schedule wise.
And we're excited to do it. Dig Deep, by the way, is the name of the band that will be performing from 4:30 to 4 to 6 o'clock downtown. We'll have food trucks downtown, as we always have. You'll be able to enjoy a can of your favorite malt beverage or two. It should be a great time. I love the car show. It's probably my favorite event that goes on in downtown Two Rivers every year, and I'm looking forward to it. Different, but again, business is unusual. But I'm looking forward to it again this year. Absolutely.
Very good. Very good. And then what else? Anything else?
Well, the next thing I'll mention, Saturday, September 19th is Ethnic Festival, which again, going to be going on as normal. This will be the 29th year of that event. That event actually predates Main Street, thanks to Nan Webster and Jackie Dickenscheid, who started the event and then passed it on to Main Street when the Main Street organization came into being. And we have a Scottish pipe and drum band and a group of Scottish dancers that are coming independently. They're working together, and they're going to perform individually and together. We have what was a real crowd favorite from 2 years ago, Doc Smith and the Disciples, a gospel group from Milwaukee coming up. We have a group called Hurricane Gumbo, which is like a Cajun Creole style group. Some killer. So we have a Jamaican style group coming called In Black and White. Tuba Dan and his German band. So we have a very, very
I love it.
wide ranging lineup of entertainment. We have this year again, the Verve Credit Union will be sponsoring our kids activity tent, and they'll be doing one of their own activities there. And I'm not sure what that's going to be yet. That's their thing, and they're handling that. But we'll have music activities for kids in there. We may do a kite making thing in there, and we also have a Taiwanese puppet group.
Oh, neat.
That will be doing 2 half-hour shows in the children's activity tent.
That sounds so awesome. Wow.
Of course, all of the typical unusual food vendors from all over the Midwest, and we always have some new food vendors, some old ones. We've got a gentleman that comes from Minnesota that's been coming to the event for over 20 years, doing Greek food that drives over here from Western Minnesota, and looking forward to that one too.
Yeah, well, it's truly a unique event in the region, and really in the state. I think that it's the celebration of different cultures and diversities, and something that we really need. Right now with a lot of the civil things that we're facing with Black Lives Matter and everything that happened with George Floyd, I think an opportunity for our city to celebrate, all of the different cultures and the equity that we try to practice.
Oh, and I agree with you about that wholeheartedly. And I think it also gives us the opportunity to show ourselves as a diverse community in terms of the things that we do and the things that we offer.
Absolutely. Cool. Very cool. Very cool. Glad to hear the Ethnic Fest is happening. I think, by this time of the year usually is when everything is kicking into really high gear for you, and it's really crazy. It's got to be, again, business is unusual. Yes, we're charging forward with great caution.
Exactly. And I mean, right now I'd be basically, a week and a day away from the car cruise, and now I'm actually going to take a week of vacation, the week leading up to the 4th of July.
Yeah.
And that in my job, that would be unheard of.
I was going to say, in other years, you would either be coming on the show to, really kind of boost for the event, or you'd be saying, I'm way too busy to do this right now. Darla, just talk it up. Go do the minute,
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. Yes. And like I said, there's some challenges that I've learned a lot about regarding changing the date of an event. We moved the date, and we had food vendors cancel, and we're trying to find new ones, and it's been an experience. It really has.
I'm sure it has, and we're fortunate that we have you to shepherd us through these difficult times, Roger. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I'm fortunate when it comes to events like the Car Show and Ethnic Fest to have committees of great people that are really committed to the individual events.
That's true.
I'm the one that gets paid to do this stuff. All those people are volunteering, and they're a huge help to us when it comes to. We couldn't do these events without those groups of people.
It's a great shout out. You're absolutely right. I mean, the people that give their time to help plan these events year after year and make them successful and build upon those successes, they deserve all the kudos as well. So thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Yep. Yes. Thank you, all of you.
All right. Any other kinds of announcements? Anything else?
No, nothing right now. I think, we're kind of gearing up for event season. It's been great that the weather's nice and the beach has been full again. And, I today, as we record this on a gorgeous Thursday afternoon outside. I mean, it's summer's here.
Roger, is the beach really full, or is it just because it's smaller that it looks full?
Well, that's a legitimate question, but I'm going to be honest. It's full. I drove through there on Tuesday, I think it was, which was the first of this warm stretch of days, and there wasn't a parking place to be found. Parking lots were all full. The street was full. Up and down the side streets were getting parked in. No, it's full. Well, which is great. It really is.
It's good to see business coming back. I hope everybody's being really careful out there. And Roger, as always, thank you for coming on the show and walking us through the Main Street Minute, because there's always just way too much to pack into a minute. But we'll see you next time, and we'll be right back.
Moments are meant to be stolen. They must be stolen as they are too briefly hello and so quickly goodbye. Snatch them like crickets and put them in a box. Savor the stale crust. Sliver the fresh almond. Scrapbook the grain of sand. People, they disappear. They disappear as do we all. Inhale the wisps of smoke from their extinguished candles. Pocket the fading glow. Pack away the pale vapor. Preserve the fleeting essence. Travel, indulge, tisk and twirl. Tread fearlessly from morn to morn, as this is the life and this is the death. Enunciate every silly vowel that stutters, and hum every consonant that whispers. Hear the growing laughter and stunted weeping inside each of your cells. Laugh at the preposterous. Weep only at poorly placed periods. Ignore all the nonsense. Accept your reality with a smile.